Crime boss Clayton clutched a cigarette between his lips, grabbed a Thompson submachine gun, and unleashed a furious burst of bullets at an oncoming car. The vehicle spun out of control, crashed into a nearby building, and only when it was riddled with holes did Clayton finally stop firing. The terrified men inside collapsed to the ground, too shaken to fight back, but Clayton didn't kill them. He knew that to command real respect, you couldn't go too far. Fear and mercy had to coexist. This was a warning, meant to send a message to both his rivals and the locals. If anyone still disobeyed, the next bullets wouldn't miss. Behind a fence, young Aaron watched the whole thing unfold, his eyes full of awe. Clayton even gave him a wink before walking away coolly. Aaron stared at the fading figure for a long time, then suddenly rushed into the street, picked up a few of Clayton's spent shell casings, and placed them carefully into his hat like sacred relics. In the 1920s and 30s, mob power ran rampant across America. Gangs large and small were everywhere. Though they often clashed, nearly all were in the same business, bootlegging. Alcohol was illegal then, but demand was sky high, and the profits were irresistible. People brewed and sold liquor in secret, and Franklin County became one of the most notorious centers of the trade. The DuPont brothers, Howard, Jack, and Aaron, made their living this way. Howard and Jack were both known tough guys in the area, while the youngest, Aaron, grew up safely under their protection. No one dared cross the DuPonts, though the brothers rarely caused trouble, focusing instead on their family's business. One day, after Jack finished counting inventory, the newly appointed police chief, Daniel, showed up. Jack, cigar in mouth, swaggered over to ask the old sheriff what was going on. But Daniel, backed by the power of a district attorney, didn't respect the locals at all. He arrogantly stepped up to Jack, tapped him on the shoulder, and told him that if he wanted to keep his business running, he'd have to pay protection money. Jack wasn't having it.
Don't you ever touch me.
Seeing the tension, the old sheriff quickly tried to smooth things over. He handed Jack some cash and asked him to fetch a good bottle of liquor for the DA waiting in the car. But Jack noticed Daniel staring shamelessly at his woman, Ina. Taking the money, Jack walked to the car and spoke briefly with the DA.
I guarantee you personally pull a cleaver out of his fucking skull. You understand me?
Then turned to send Ina back inside, locking eyes with Daniel on the way. Daniel didn't back down. Jack glared at him, the air between them charged and dangerous. The nearby officers, sensing the hostility, nervously reached for their guns, but Jack only gave Daniel a cold glance before walking inside. That night, the local moonshiners gathered for a meeting. Everyone else agreed to give in, but the DuPont brothers stood firm. They would never bow to anyone.